Let's talk about the tulips that broke the internet. Hi, my name is Kristen, and a lot of you are new here, so let me introduce myself. Recently planted 2,000 tulips in this bed right here. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm actually a flower farmer, so planting 2,000 tulips isn't even that many tulips in the grand scheme of things. As I'm filming this, it's currently November 5th, 2025. I am in a small town near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, just about 10 minutes outside of the city. It's a zone 3 climate here, and I'm of course on the Canadian prairies. If you're interested in following my flower farming journey, I have 2 accounts, Shifting Roots, like on YouTube, that's on Instagram and TikTok and whatever. And then if you're interested in following the actual flower farming, and if you're local, possibly buying some of my flowers, then that's Shifting Blooms on all the platforms. I recently published this video about growing tulips on YouTube, and the internet had a lot of questions, so I decided I would give you guys some answers. So the first thing I want to discuss is 1, are you rich? No. Fairly average size house. It's only a little over 1,000 square feet. And I'm a flower farmer, so when I'm buying all these tulips, it's not just for fun. It's part of a calculated plan to sell them next spring, partly to make money, but also partly as a form of advertising to get customers to spend with me for the whole growing season. To one of the next most common questions, which is, why did you plant these tulips so close together? And the answer is because I'm a flower farmer. So these tulips ideally are not going to be staying in the ground. I will be picking as many of them as possible. Even though I planted 2,000 tulips, I probably won't be picking 2,000 tulips because they are hard to grow on the prairies. This means I'm going to have to water them, put shade cloth over them, and harvest them as soon as the color starts to crack on the buds. So unfortunately, you won't see the glorious picture you guys are all hoping for, because if you see that picture, that means I've missed the harvesting window and I can't really sell those tulips anymore. To save you all a bunch of boring information, if you want to know more about planting tulips as a flower farmer, I have a blog post about it on my website, which I'll link down below. Now, I wanted to do a little bouquet math with you. So while 2,000 tulips sounds crazy, if I was to pick every single one and sell them in 10 stem bunches, that means I'm only selling 200 bouquets, which might sound like a lot to people, but between Mother's Day, if I can hit it, Father's Day, which is more likely for weddings, I often have a lot of brides buy buckets, so a lot of tulips go in there. 2,000 tulips goes fast, and realistically, even if I do a good job of taking care of these tulips, it's probably more likely that my max harvest will be more like 1,600. You've got to allow some room for error. Many of you are wondering about our squirrels, and actually because we live near Saskatoon, we don't really have them. I used to live in southwestern Ontario. I did my master's there, and while I was there were a lot of squirrels. So I think I'm understanding where you guys are coming from, but we do not have those squirrels, or at least not in those quantities. We also have cats, and so those cats tend to take care of any voles, and really the biggest pests on this acreage are the cats and the chickens. So even though I don't have to worry about the squirrels like many of you do, I have heard that if you put a layer of chicken wire on top of your bulbs, that will help prevent the squirrels from digging down and stealing your stuff. Another thing that horrified the internet was the fact that I just threw the tulips down and I didn't do them pointy side up. And this is for a couple of reasons. The first reason is because it saves so much time, and time is money. I do hire somebody to help me out, and so if I can make that job a lot less time, we can move on to the next thing. Again, the reason why we can have the tulips so close together is because we're going to be pulling them. It's literally, we're going to be pulling them, so it doesn't matter that they're close together, and it also helps them get longer stems. Tulips on the prairies honestly is kind of a gamble. It's so dry here and tulips don't really like it, but I think I finally have the customer base and the systems and knowledge to like how to grow them well here. then I think I can make it work. Many of you were asking where to get this quantity of tulips from, and so you actually need to be like a flower farmer, own a garden center, or to have some sort of profession in the gardening horticulture industry to be able to get the wholesale tulips. If that is you, you can use De Vroomen or Van Noort in Canada. I believe Ball probably also has tulips. This year I used Van Noort, but I also used De Vroomen for my peonies and other things. I think both companies have pretty equal service as far as my experience goes. Because I'm buying the tulips at wholesale price and not retail price like most of you watching, or who at least watch that short, are, I wouldn't say it's cheap. I'm still spending a lot of money because it is 2,000 tulips, but it's all in part of a business plan and makes financial sense. Question: how did we dig this? By hand, with shovels. It took a while, and because we had sunflowers here previously, we had to pull all the sunflowers out, but the sunflowers did not go to waste. They went into our new raised beds, and these will hopefully have ranunculus in them or other cool flowers. And final question: why would you do this without putting in a glamour shot and putting the tulips blooming? Well, there's two reasons. The first one is that I'm filming this as it's actually happening. I'm not like faking something for social media. This is a thing we just actually did as part of our business. And part of the reason you're seeing it is, I guess, the algorithm gods decided to show it to people who weren't flower farmers and people who are interested in tulips, like in the greater population. What's the second reason? The second reason is, honestly, I just didn't think anybody would care. I've been so used to my stuff only reaching flower farmers that in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, they'll know that the tulips are coming in the spring and everybody knows what a tulip looks like and it's fine. So, you know what? Just like for all of you who wanted that final picture, well, I can't give you a picture of this specific row. Let me give you this brief montage of some tulip pictures from previous years. If you weren't already following, make sure that you